Good day, everyone. I am Christine, the moderator for this webinar. I welcome everyone to today's webinar, Managing Toxic and Other Employees Who Have Attitude Issues. I would like to introduce our presenter for today, Pete Tosh. Pete Tosh is the founder of the Focus Group. Pete holds a PhD degree in psychology from Emory and Henry College and master's degree in both business administration and industrial psychology from Virginia Commonwealth University. I would like to hand over the floor to the speaker. Over to you, Pete.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for that introduction, and thanks for each of you for participating today. And I realize that you're probably participating because you're dealing with a toxic employee issue. And let me just say at the beginning, I know this is a very frustrating endeavor.
I'm going to do the best I can today to share with you a number of techniques and approaches to try to minimize the damage caused by any toxic issue you have within your organization, as well as trying to prevent it in the future. The day that person left our organization is considered one of our annual holidays, and we refer to these individuals through various labels, manipulating others to get their way, whereas the toxic employee either is not aware of the negative impact they're having on others, or they are aware and they don't care about that negative impact. There's been a lot of research that's been conducted on this topic, and three significant conclusions are that toxic employees drive excessive cost within an organization. Look at this toxic issue in these 6 modules. Let's jump into module 10 then, and we'll start by talking about the human and financial costs, because they are substantial. It is easy to make a business case for addressing toxicity, and I want you to be able to do so as you need. Slide 12, we talk about the types of cost and damage that they can wreak. Toxicity is very common and it's very costly. Slide 4, let's jump into module 2, and we'll look at toxic behavior in terms of the ABCs. Slide 15 then, the A's, I'm talking about the employee's attitude. The B's then, this toxic behavior. On slide 16, I'd like you to just take a moment then in thinking about these ABCs. On slide 17 then, I want to illustrate that we have little or any influence over employees' attitudes. So let's jump into module 19 and slide 19, module. Slide 20, we all do everything we do for toxic employees. Don't do what they do by accident. I want to spend just a moment talking about the 3 most common forms of toxic behavior. Humility, belittling others, is psychologically pushing others down in order to elevate themselves on a project and then sabotage their project later in ways that can't be traced back. And in slide 25, I illustrate that they also hoard information. They're territorial. Slide 27, module 4, and talk about some things that organizations try that frequently don't work, and a few that can make the situation even worse. Common approaches into a true-false just to change the format a little bit. Restructuring the employee's job. Someone said corporate culture is how employees feel on Sunday night about going to work. And so you certainly don't want your employees having these kinds of thoughts about your culture. Listed just a few other things to make sure you avoid. And that is, as I was just saying, hoping that it's going to get better. Jot down some notes of some of these things that maybe your organization has tried, techniques that do tend to work. I want to illustrate that I'll talk about 8 organization-wide initiatives. So slide 35, let's start out talking about the first, of the 8 organization-wide initiatives. A few more organizational initiatives. So some exit interview questions that I like, or organization-wide initiative, conducting investigation, the 3 one-on-one initiatives for addressing toxicity. Managers can be reluctant to give feedback to employees in general. Your managers share some of these in their, when you're providing them training about toxicity. Slide 43, I want to begin to illustrate the difference then between coaching and counseling. I want to address and help you with these 4 stages. Let's talk about 2 issues. One is the employee is not able to just leave the counseling session and forget it. Counseling, we have this resistance, this pushback. So we want to ask them numerous questions. So 51, I'm just illustrating then, or emphasizing the fact that counseling is much more difficult than coaching. A second one-on-one initiative then on slide 52 is bring in executive coaches. Last resort, if we have to, is termination. Sometimes that's what's necessary, but it's not a cure-all. Slide 54, I just want to kind of summarize that we have addressed this 8 organizational, 5 department, 3 one-on-one initiatives. Wrap up slide 55 by looking at the positives, 3 characteristics that we probably would like to see in more of our employees, and deciding on the characteristics that you want to see in your employees. Address each of those quickly. Humility, when those employees who engaged employees are those who do their best to perform to their capabilities. Emotional intelligent employee, again, very different than the toxic employee characteristics. In more of our employees, we're going to have more trust within the organization. Great initiative, I think, is to get your leadership team together. Wrap up by moving quickly through these 6 initiatives. Encourage you to, while it's fresh in your mind, jot down elements of this webinar that you can put in place. So thank you very much for participating today, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you again.
And thank you, Pete. Let's conclude the session for today. Thank you everyone for participating. You may disconnect now. Thank you very much.